Hello students, my name is Foluke Fatimai, your facilitator for EDU 220 English Methods. This is our second meeting and we shall be looking at how to process English sounds. Under this topic we will talk about vowels and consonants, speaking and listening. This will enable us to understand better what and how to teach our students this to enhance their communicative competence. Once again, welcome. Let's get ready and learn from one another. Bye. Once again, welcome. And what you shall be looking at today is teaching English sounds. I am Dr. Foluke Fatimai, and that's my email address showing on the screen. You can see some words and symbols by the left-hand side, just to show that we shall be dealing with sounds, vowels, consonants, speaking, and listening. And what are the lesson objectives for this session? At the end of this session, you will be able to define the term listening and differentiate between listening and hearing. Yes, you heard me right. There's a difference between listening and hearing. You will be able to also describe factors that determine a listener's comprehension of utterances, as well as define the term speaking. You will be able to state the objectives of teaching speaking and name the language features involved in speaking. Another objective is that you'll be able to mention and explain micro skills and strategies involved in speaking and engage in speech delivery and public talk. Now, what is listening? Listening is an active creative skill which enables you to comprehend a speaker's utterance. Listening is a process by which you receive, construct meaning from, and respond to spoken messages. Listening also involves hearing, thinking, and having a great deal of interest. And it entails three components. The three components of listening are the speaker, you or any other person, the listener, which can also be you or any other person, and the meaning being shared when you listen to what is being said. There are factors that determine the comprehension of utterances, and these factors are the linguistic information emitted by the speaker, the situational context, the listener's understanding of the speaker's intentions. Of course, the topic or subject of speech is very important and determines comprehension of utterances. And finally, the listener's attitude or interest to the speaker and topic. Because if you are listening to something that does not interest you, your attitude to that thing will be like nonchalant. You are not interested, you don't want to listen. So these are the factors that determine comprehension of utterances. Now, let us look at the types of listening. There are types of listening. 1. Informational listening. Here you listen for content to get gist of message as in classroom lecture. 2. Critical evaluative listening. In this type of listening, you judge or evaluate message as in debates. You make judgment, take a stand or position. Number 3, appreciative or aesthetic listening. This is listening for enjoyment. For example, listening to music, to drama pieces, listening to concerts and TV programs. There is also therapeutic or empathetic listening. This kind of listening is used to support or encourage others. For example, a sick or worried person, you allow them talk while you listen. It's a healing process. It's a way of unburdening themselves, which will make them better. That is why it is called therapeutic or empathetic listening. And finally, we have inferential listening. This is listening where you interpret messages beyond what the speaker is saying. So far, so good. We are doing very well. Now, what are the strategies for developing listening skills? Remember, we are teachers, whether trainee teachers or teachers already. We need to know the strategies for developing listening skills, and we shall be taking them one after the other. First, the teacher has to be a model. If you want to develop listening in your students, you have to be a model of good listening. Next, the teacher has to create friendly, interactive environment. Friendly and interactive environment, which can now facilitate good listening. The third strategy is to listen actively, attentively to students. While being a model of listening, you have to also listen. Show them. Listen actively. Not when they are talking to you, you have divided attention. You are doing something else, you are not paying attention to what they are saying. So you have to listen actively, attentively to students. That's a very good strategy to develop the students' listening skills. Again, respond to whatever it is they are saying in an open and appropriate manner. While another strategy is for you to minimize interruptions and distractions. Next, provide opportunities for students to practice listening and then encourage them to actively engage in listening. When you do this, you'll be on the right way to developing your students' listening skills. Now, we are done with listening. Whatever questions or gray areas you have, we will discuss it at the discussion forum. We want to take up speaking. What is speaking? Speaking is a complex cognitive process. It is an interactive process of constructing meaning through the means of verbal and non-verbal symbols. Speaking is context-bound because the participants, their experiences, the environment, and the purpose of speaking make up what speaking is. When you speak, it is context-bound because that is the participants. You must have participants, and you must take cognizance of the participants' experiences, their environment, and the purpose for their speaking. What are the factors that may influence one's ability to speak? The first one is age. While the second one is the home, the school, or community environment. Next is individual ability, and lastly, individual attitude. All these are factors that influences one's abilities to speak. All this will be discussed further as we go along in the live session. In conclusion, we have been able to discuss English sounds, especially the vowel and the consonant sounds, stress and intonation, and how to teach the listening and speaking skills to your students. In the live session, we will bring out the consonants and vowel sounds for you to see and then compare so that we know how to pronounce correctly, use correct intonation and stress patterns. The goal is not to make your students become native speakers of English, but to make their speech clearer and more comprehensible so that they can achieve communicative competence. See you next session. Be safe.